Thanks, Kim. James Dobney, our home inspector, is with us, and we're going to start off with an email question because I think a lot of people have this same question. This is from Dave in Comox, who says, we bought our house 10 years ago. We've never replaced our water heater. How long do they last? When should we replace it? Nobody wants to come home to that.
No, they don't. And how long do they last? Usually about 5 minutes past the warranty.
Right.
So number one tip, make sure there's a drain for the water, because and just go down, look at your water heater and think, now if it leaks, where's that water going to go? And if the answer isn't to a drain, then you're in trouble. So if you don't have a drain, then you need to put a pan underneath it and have that pan drain somewhere that's going to not cause any damage.
Okay. What about the sediment?
Sediment in the tank. At the bottom of your water heater, there'll be a valve, and it's a good idea every year to drain that valve and make sure that the water runs clear. So get a white bucket, drain some water into it. If you have an electric water heater, make sure you turn the power off first. If it's a gas-fired water heater, turn it to pilot so that you're not going to cause any damage to the water heater. So good idea to do that once a year until the water is clear. Earthquake straps, obvious. It starts to shake, you don't want the electrical lines tearing loose or the gas line coming loose. So make sure it's strapped on. Water temperature, if it's too hot, you can risk scalding, particularly children and elderly. But if it's too low, you can get bacteria breeding in the tank. So BC Hydro recommends 55 to 60 degrees Celsius, about 131 to 140 Fahrenheit. So.
Okay. Good advice. Go and chat with your water heater.
Just look at water heaters like expensive light bulbs. They're going to wear out, and
you're going to have to replace them at some point. Okay. Right now we have Walter on the line from Vernon this morning. Good morning, Walter.
Good morning. How are you today?
Hi, Walter.
Good, good. You have a question for James?
Yeah, absolutely. Reference my water tank. The bottom element keeps being corroded. Now, we're on an acreage with a well, obviously with hard water. Now, my question is there not some sort of an element I can put in there like the old hot tub ones that have a Teflon coating or something to protect it and make it last a little longer instead of going through an element every 6-7 months?
Not that I'm aware of, but you know, on the water heater itself, there's something called a sacrificial anode. And if you look at the top of your water heater, you'll see looks like a large bolt in there. And actually, you're supposed to replace that every few years. Nobody ever does. But that may help. The other option, Walter, is looking at treating your water. I don't know if you have a water softener or something that treats the water, but you could look at putting a filter on for the water, too.
That would stop the corrosion quite so fast.
That would help for sure.
Okay. Thanks for calling, Walter. Good luck with that. We have Gary on the line from Port Moody. Good morning, Gary.
Hi.
Hi, Gary.
You have a question for James?
Yes. We're in an older 1966 house, and we've had the flooring removed, and we're down to a thin concrete slab. And we wanted to know what kind of flooring you'd recommend for like a cold. We've had some water problems in the past, and we were wondering what flooring we should put down.
So this is on the main floor of your house?
No, it's on the downstairs.
Oh, in the basement.
So it's in the basement, and currently we're down to concrete, but it feels really very cool. And my wife always said we're on a thin slab.
Yeah, and concrete's always going to feel cold. So options you're looking at, obviously you want something that, have you solved your water problems? Any problems with drainage still?
Oh, I don't think
solved some of those problems, like filled a crack, and we've checked the drainage.
Well, you're looking for something that, if you're looking for something for comfort, certainly carpet would be number one in that sense. So you considered that, but of course it's going to get damaged with water. So if you don't want to go carpet, you could go with a vinyl flooring. There are vinyl tiles that look very much like ceramic. They'd be a little warmer. If you want to make sure that you're not going to have any problems and durability-wise, ceramic tiles would be good. But again, it's going to feel cold. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at putting in a subfloor. And subfloors are fine, except that if you have a water problem, they're hard to see, they're expensive, and they take up headroom. So all of those things to consider.
Right. All right. Well, good luck.
Lots of choices, but it's not straightforward.
Good luck, Gary. Margaret is on the line from Abbotsford. Good morning, Margaret.
Morning, Lynn and Jim.
Hi. What's your question for James, Margaret?
I do. I know it's not winter yet, but I'm just wondering, I live in an apartment. I'm wondering how I can insulate the patio window to keep the warmth in and the cold out.
So this is your windows or patio door?
Patio door.
Patio door, and you want to still be able to use that door?
I do, and I don't want to get in trouble with the landlord.
Nobody wants that. And do you have curtains on it right now?
I do.
And that doesn't help, or?
Oh, they're so see-through. I can't take them down either. It's part of the building.
Probably best option would be to look at it maybe a heavier curtain or a lined curtain, something that's going to certainly cut down on the draft and help insulate it. You can put plastic film over it. The trouble is that you're not going to be able to use it then because you want to be opening and closing it. So I would say curtains probably the best route.
There you go. Good luck with that, Margaret. James, thanks very much for all of that. Tips about hot water tanks, which I will now be going home and having a chat with my hot water tank. Next week, veterinarian Dr. Andrew Forsyth will be here. Send your questions to weekendnews@globaltv.com. And there's all of James' information, 942-8272. JamesDobney.com is how you can get a hold of him.